Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Upsoft. I'm going to review the February 24th NHL games. So I believe it's 10 games, 10 or 11 games on the docket. We're going to start off with the Kings and the Ducks. So in the first period, Jacob Silverberg scores for the Ducks at 9:33 from Ryan Strome and Cam Fowler on the power play. Fiala would score at 15:23 from Adrian Kempe and Drew Doughty, also on the power play. So tied 1-1 going into the second. Second period at 9:08, Sam Carrick scores from Adam Henrique shorthanded. Drew Doughty would score for the Kings at 14:24 from Adrian Kempe and Kevin Fiala on the power play. Third period, there's no scoring. Overtime, there's no scoring. And then Leo Carlson, Trevor Moore would get the shootout winner for the Kings. They took that one 3-2 in a shootout. So LA, where was that one? Minnesota versus Seattle. The first period, Vince Dunn scores at 36 seconds in from Jared McCann and Matty Beniers. Jared McCann, former Canuck. Marcus Johansson would score for the Wild at 4:59 from Zuccarello and Middleton. Kaprizov would score from Zuccarello and Hartman on the power play at 13:32 to give the Wild a 2-1 lead going into the second. Second period at 1:09, Matt Boldy extends the lead from Kaprizov and Zuccarello on the power play. Kaprizov would score one of his own. His second of the game. From Eriksson Ek and Faber at 2:14 in the second. Dakota Mermis would score from Zuccarello and Dewar at 6:58 to extend the lead further. And then in the third period, I believe would score from Larson at 6:11. But the Wild take that one 5-2 over Seattle. Alright, the Predators and the Sharks. So in the first period, at 10:14, Kiefer Sherwood would score for the Predators from McCarron and Yossi. At 18:27 of the second period, Forsberg would score from Novak and Nyquist on the power play. Third period, Granlund would score at 1:10 from Ty Emerson. Sherwood would score a second from Carrier at 3:40. Zadina would score from Ruda at 9:34. And then Nyquist would score from Forsberg into the empty net at 19:48. The Predators take that one 4-2 over the Sharks. Dallas and Carolina. So in the first period, Jason Robinson scores for the Stars at 16:38 from Mira Heiskanen and Joe Pavelski. Second period, Sebastian Aho would score at 2:16 from Jesper Fast and Andrei Svechnikov. Wyatt Johnson would score at 8:15 from Jamie Benn and Mira Heiskanen. Third period, there's no scoring. Dallas takes it 2-1. Alright, Maple Leafs and Avalanche. So in the first period, Arturi Lehkonen scores from Nathan McKinnon and Kel McCarr on the power play at 2:16. At 11:07, Cogliano would have another one for the Avs from Nathan McKinnon and Mikko Rantanen. At 13:42, Bertuzzi would score for the Leafs from Marner and Nylander on the power play. Second period, at 14:45, Bertuzzi would score again from Nylander and Max Domi. 16:48, Marner would score from Nyes and Brody. In the third period, at 4:41, Mikko Rantanen would tie it up from Nathan McKinnon and Bowen Byram. At 17:09, Bertuzzi would complete the hat trick from Nylander and Matthews on the power play. The Leafs take it 4-3 in regulation. Washington and Florida. So in the first period of this one, there's no scoring. Second period at 4:03, Nick Cousins scores from Kulikov and Montour. Sonny Milano would answer at 18:31 from Rasmus Sandin and Max Pacioretty on the power play. Tom Wilson would give the Capitals a lead at 10:11 of the third period from Dylan Strome and John Carlson on the power play. 16:30, Barkov would tie it up from Verhaeghe and Montour on the power play. And then in overtime at 3:41, Gustav Forsling would score the overtime winner from Sam Bennett. The Panthers did that one 3-2 in overtime over the Caps. The Rangers versus the Flyers. So in the first period, there's no scoring. Second period, 11:56, Lafreniere scores from Trocheck and Miller. The third period, at 2:36, Tyson Forrester scores from Lawton and Sanheim. And then Matt Rempe would score 6:31 from Goudreau and Schneider. The Rangers take that one 2-1. Alright, Devils and Canadians. So in the first period, there's no scoring. Second period at 3:06, Brendan Gallagher scores from Jake Evans and Josh Anderson. Team MI would answer at 5:23 from Kevin Ballantyre to Foley for Madoc. At 13:07, Nick Suzuki would score from Caulfield and Kovacevic. That's right. At 17:50 of the second, Andre Platt would score from Simon Nemec. Third period, Heischer would score from Toffoli for Madoc and Luke Hughes on the power play at 13:33. Jesper Bratt would score at 16:33 from Timo Meier. And then Suzuki would score at 18:09 from Yoel Armia and Mike Matheson. But the Devils take it 4-3. Excuse me. Tampa Bay and the Islanders. So in the first period, Nick Paul scores from Brandon Hagel and Darren Radish at 4:12. At 5:34, Kucherov would extend the lead for Victor Hedman and Nick Perbix. Second period, 5 minutes in, Braden Point would score from Kucherov and Hedman on the power play. Third period, 13:44, Anders Lee would score from Barzal and Dobson. 17:25, Nelson would score from Noah Dobson on the power play. And then at 19:29, Glendening would score from Hedman and Kucherov into the empty net. The Bolts take that one 4-2. Red Wings and Blues. In the first period, Patrick Kane opens up the scoring 33 seconds in from Gostisbehere and DeBrincat. Rasmussen would score at 4:21 from Raymond and Petrie. Fabry would score unassisted at 5:24. DeBrincat would score at 19:02 from Mort Sider and Daniel Sprong on the power play. Second period at 12:28, Zach Bolduc would score from Brandon Saad and Nathan Walker. Comfort would score 16:56 of the second from Lucas Raymond and Michael Rasmussen. DeBrincat would score from Kane at 18:34. Third period, there's no scoring. Red Wings take it 6-1. Alright, moving on to the Battle of Alberta. Part 3, I believe, out of 4. First period, 2:02, Nazem Kadri scores from Walker Dewar and Noah Hannafin. Martin Buckbasil would score at 9:11 from Connor Jerry and Braden Pashaw. Hannafin would score, his first, at 15:53 from Backlund and Huberdeau. Hyman would score at 18:29 from McDavid and Bouchard on the power play. Hyman would score again in the second period at 4:34 from Draisaitl and McDavid. Dryden Hunt would score for the Flames at 11:47 from Huberdeau and Shillington. Hannafin would score his second, I believe, from Connor Jerry and Rasmus Anderson on the power play at 14:09. And into the third period, at 12:51, Blake Coleman would score from Andrew Mangiapane into the empty net, and then Matthias Janmark would score from Ekholm at 16:16. But the Flames take it 6-3, and they were wearing their Heritage Classic jerseys, one of which I'm going to get, the Calgary one, when I go in March for a game. Anyways, moving on to the Golden Knights and the Senators. So in the first period, Jonathan Marchessault, who's been on a tear, he gets his 30th at 5:41 from William Karlsson. Second period, Stevenson at 3:03 would score from Theodore and Marchessault on the power play. 9 minutes in, Thomas Chabot would score from Matthew Joseph and Claude Giroux. Bathurst would have another one for the Sens to tie it up at 18:47 from Brady Tkachuk and Josh Norris on the power play. Third period, Norris would give the Sens the lead at 5:48 from Chabot and Brandstrom. Stevenson would score his second of the game at 18:45 from Karlsson and Theodore. Overtime, there's no scoring, and then Stützle gets the shootout winner for the Senators. They take that one 4-3 in the shootout. And then my favorite game of the night, Boston versus Vancouver. In the first period, there's no scoring. Second period, Boqvist scores for the Bruins at 5:27 from Brazeau. 11:15, Danton Heinen scores from Trent Frederick and Morgan Geekie. Third period, at 12:49, Besser scores at his 32nd of the year from Zadorov and Miller. At 18:49, Hronek scores to tie it up from JT Miller and Elias Pettersson. And then in overtime, at 1:34, Besser, his 33rd of the year from JT Miller and Quinn Hughes on the power play. Beautiful goal. Vancouver takes it 3-2, and they end their losing streak there. So that's it for the February 24th NHL Games. I will do the next one soon. So if you liked it, subscribe if you really liked it, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios.